10 years ago to the day, CM Punk dropped one hell of a promo to close out Monday Night Raw back in the summer of 2011, better known as the Pipe Bomb, and honestly, probably one of the biggest nights in modern history, definitely of the last 10 years. Everybody universally agrees on that, and it led to one of the biggest pay-per-view main events in recent WWE history as well, with John Cena and CM Punk at Money in the Bank in 2011. So we are here tonight to watch the entire episode of Monday Night Raw from June 27th, 2011. So go ahead and pull out your Peacock and get that queued up here. We're going to hit play in just a little bit, but we'll hang out and chat a little while first, let people gather in the chat and get themselves set up. And I thought this would be a fun kind of video to do since, today is the 10-year anniversary, and I honestly don't have any recollection of what took place on this show prior to CM Punk's very tasty words that he had for WWE and Triple H and Stephanie and Cena and all that stuff. So I don't really recall what was going on at this time. I don't even remember why John Cena was laying in the middle of the ring. No idea. So it's going to be like watching this show for the first time. As far as I know, the show probably sucks, but it only got good at the end. But I thought it would be a good opportunity for us to come up here and relive the Pipe Bomb, talk about it, and look at it, 10 years later, 10 years after the fact, and where it stands and how it still holds up. And I think we can all agree that it holds up pretty damn well, because people to this day still refer back to the Pipe Bomb as a huge night. And it was awesome, because that night CM Punk was saying all the right things. He was tickling us and touching us in all the right places, and especially with what we had been given by WWE around that time, there was a lot of fan frustration then, even 10 years ago, when the ratings and the interest was still pretty high compared to now. But even back then, it was very stale. I felt it was stale. And then The Rock came back, and things started to change. And then CM Punk would go on his year-long title run here shortly after this. So this was a fun time, an interesting time, and one that I thought would be fun to take a look back at today. So that's what we're here to do. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat and get my stuff pulled up here. Give myself a sound check. All right, we're looking good. Volume is on. Everything is nice and nice. We'll go to the Raw episode here soon. In the meantime, go ahead and pull up your Peacock. If you're watching this on any other platform, WWE Network or somewhere else, your timer may or may not match up with ours, but we're going by the Peacock version. So all you got to do is follow along with the timer above your head, regardless if you buffer or I buffer or whatever. We're all just going to match the timer. That's the big thing you have to remember here in terms of watching this together. So keep that in mind as we go through here. And we'll get going. Oh, shit, I did it again. We'll get going here in just a couple of minutes. I'm already swatting my microphone. All right, we did not lose power. We're good. Is there a belt in your fridge? I should have, Sam. That would have been an excellent idea. I should have taken a picture of the belt in the cooler. Let me say hi to people that are here in the chat. Sorry, I got multiple windows, and they weren't set up when I went live the way I wanted them to. That's why I'm a little discombobulated, but I'm just getting organized here. There we go. Now I can see you guys. Now I can see what you're saying. Ernie Garcia, good to see you. Tatanani, watch along Sunday. We are back with that. This one is going to be fun. Sam 3, good to see you. George Morris is back with the $5. Hey, Greg, how are you doing? This Raw 0 out of 10. Tired of the Pipe Bomb, all SmackDown episodes now on Peacock, episodes 99 to 2001, edits and missing footage, I guess is what you're saying. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some edits in there, but I'm glad that they're finally now getting to the point where most of the library is up on Peacock with a few exceptions, and now, since they're over there, with a few edits as well, which sucks. But I'm surprised you're tired of the Pipe Bomb. Just looking back, it's still pretty badass, I think, and it was definitely something that we weren't seeing at the time, and CM Punk really made you question the whole thing, especially with his contract being up. It was one of those special occasions, a special situation, not the same, but some kind of similar in value to something like Hall and Nash. Their contracts just happened to be expiring, within a week of each other, and they could go to WCW and play it off like they were coming from WWE. So with CM Punk, with this contract coming up, and them actually allowing him to go out there and say whatever he wanted to say, it's the closest thing to an outsider we're ever going to get again. And I think they definitely, as we'll talk about later, I think made some mistakes in the aftermath of this instead of capitalizing on it right away. And I think maybe even keeping CM Punk off TV a little bit longer than they did after Money in the Bank to really, really, really sell it. And I think he should have made an indie appearance as well, too. Something like that would have been great, just to extend that before he came back and, instead of doing everything he did, just go right to Cena at SummerSlam and beat him and then start your year-long title run from there. But they made a few missteps and fucked a couple of things up. But, it is what it is. WWE has had a lot of golden opportunities fall in their lap that they've wasted, the Invasion being one, this being another. But this initial pipe bomb was quite incredible. Can't wait to watch this one again. We Are Pro Wrestling is here. Shoot over to We Are Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel. Give him a subscription and a shout. Good stuff over there. Mike Witt is back. Shanus Maximus, Victor Colon, Barry's in the house. Nice. Ernie Garcia. Oh, yeah, Barry needs to know about them Peacock edits. Barry and Peacock are not friends. Raymond Frand is back. Jose Lopez, David, Ratnick, Ben, Colin, and we've got the Wacky Warrior, Valia, Charlie. Angie is here. What's up? I'm excited for this one, too. We'll be getting going here in less than 5 minutes, so just hang tight. Wubio, the Cocker Spaniel. Jet the Hawk is here. All right, we got a pretty good group of people. Deshaun Robinson, welcome. Good. Monkey Wrenches are here. I'm happy. Y'all are in charge. Don't spill anything. Right on. And we got a good amount of people in the chat already for this one, so it should be great. Anyway, smash that thumbs up button for me. Tap the notifications bell so you know when I'm up here doing stuff. We will be up here again tomorrow night after Raw for a full show review. And if you're here and you're not a subscriber, do that subscribing thing. I would appreciate it. All right, let's rock and roll here. I'm just going to continue to queue up Peacock over here. I'm going to hit this with a refresh. By the way, if you're over on Peacock looking for this, you're looking for Season 19, Episode 26 is what we are on, June 27th, 2011. The thumbnail is CM Punk doing the wave to Colt Cabana, which was awesome. Now, you guys got to help me out. How long after the pipe bomb was Colt gone? Or before the pipe bomb? They let him go. I can't remember if that was the same year, within months of this, or a year before. I don't remember. My timeline's all jacked around that time because, a few of those years are a little murky to me because I was, watching the pay-per-views, but not really hardcore paying attention from like 2008 until 2012. That little gap in there, hazy to me here and there. So I'm not good with those years. So maybe help me out on Colt Cabana's timeline there and his brief stint in the company. That thumbs up button has a family. That it does. So take care of that thumbs up button for me. Anyway, we are about 12 minutes past the hour, so hopefully that's enough time for people to kind of get set and get ready and get their Peacocks pulled up. I'm going to have the volume to a minimal here just to, avoid any trouble. So you probably aren't going to pick up too much audio out of my microphone. So you're going to have to listen yourself, and hopefully we will be able to match up here at the end, and I might crank up the volume just a bit during the pipe bomb at the end. Luckily, we've got no commercials to deal with here, and like I said, I don't recall what happened on the show. Now I'm looking at the description under the episode here. It says Raw Roulette from Las Vegas, plus the return of Shawn Michaels. Interesting. So yeah, Shawn would have just retired, right? 2011. No, that was 2010. So he retired the previous year. Correct? Yeah. And what the hell did he do in 2011? He didn't do anything in 2011 at that WrestleMania. It wasn't until 2012, and then they did the end of an era Hell in a Cell match, right? Am I right on that? Okay, interesting. So Shawn is going to be there. They're going to do Raw Roulette, and they're in Vegas. Let's see what that's about. We'll do a countdown. I actually have to click on this episode now. I don't see any ads or whatever, so if you do, watch through those and just get set. Oh, and the signature is already starting, so I'm going to start it over. All right, I'm going to get all zeros. So that's what you're looking for. Just get all of those zeros across your timer there, and then we will all hit play together. We'll do a countdown from 3, and then when that starts, you will see the timer above my head begin to move. So I am going to, I got to double mouse this because I'm doing 2 devices here, one with the timer and one with the cock. All right, let me get set here. It's very tricky. Every time we do a watch-along, I have to be very precise with this so we get it right. Okay, let's do a countdown from 3, and we're going to hit play together. Y'all ready to rock and roll? Here we go. On a count of 3. 3, 2, 1, play. Look good to me. Don't skip the intro if you have that option. Andre the Giant. All right. The show has begun. Let's see what this is about. How long did we get? Y'all help me out. How long did this intro, this signature intro last? How many years did we get that version? And what was the Raw song? Oh, yeah, this song. There's Ray and Gail Kim, Morrison, Hager, Morrison, Vicky, Kofi, Miz, Bellas, Rock, Melina, Del Rio, Kelly, Big Show, Maurice, Trips, Phoenix, Eva, what's not Eva Marie? Eva, the other Eva. Whatever her name was. That's crazy. All right. Well, at least they're in Vegas, because I don't really like Raw Roulette, but I guess Vegas, that makes sense. Who's going to Vegas for SummerSlam? I will be there. Walking the streets like a total hooligan. Booker T? Booker T's in charge of this thing? Who made that decision? Oh, Sean's opening up. Thank you, Eve Torres. Forgot her name. I was thinking Eva Longoria, but that's the actress chick, right? Oh, Sean. Looks good. He's got his hair. He looks like an old man now, doesn't he? Keith, I am going to be at the Luxor Hotel. That's going to be right on the same block, I think, as the stadium, or really close. According to the map, it's right across the way there. I'll be located in the penthouse suite. I'm kidding. I won't be. Remember when Sean got his shit stuck in the thing when he was doing his praying? That was awesome. Wubio, the Cocker Spaniel, thanks for the $5. Edge did not come back just to be a whipping boy. He will be your champion again. Sorry, Roman fans. Apparently you guys don't know Rated R Superstar. All right, Cocker Spaniel's picking Edge to win the title at Money in the Bank. I think Roman makes it until the end of 2021. But I like Edge, so if Edge won the title, I ain't complaining. I feel like Seth might have something to do with the outcome of that match. Setting up Edge and Seth at SummerSlam. And Roman and Mr. Knuckle Shuffle. All right, so Sean's a sexy boy, and he's here. We'll see what he has to say. Look at that crowd, back when fans used to go to the shows. It's kind of weird almost seeing that. Yeah, I'm totally blind to the stadium, Keith, so I can't wait to see it and just be in there, and it's going to be sweet. I got some pretty good seats. Is he here for a storyline? I forgot what Sean's even doing here. That was like our last chance to get Rock versus Sean, and we missed it by like 1 year. I mean, look at him here. He still looks like he can work, doesn't he? I think he could have wrestled 2 more years and been fine. Was he even at WrestleMania 27? He wasn't involved in the Triple H Taker match, was he? I don't remember. We missed you too, Sean. You look much better. I mean, let's face it. No matter what anybody says, it was each and every one of you. Darby Allin's in the crowd. I like turtles. Like, he could have wrestled. Angie, you're right. He could have wrestled like 2 more years. He looks good. We could have gotten Sean and Rock. Wish he wouldn't have came back and that Saudi Arabia show or whatever it was. Oh yeah, this is the era of guest hosts. Oh, that's right. We Are Pro Wrestling. Thank you. He inducted in the Hall of Fame, so yeah, he's not going to be involved in that. That was his gig. I was about to say I was like, he wasn't absent. He was the headliner that year. Thank you. Oh, that's why you're here, to plug your. Oh. I don't want to go to River Adventures, Sean. I'm good, but thanks. I can't see your Twitter, Sean. You blocked me. Asshole. Oh, Punk with that old music. I didn't know he comes out and messes with Sean first. And he's still in Nexus. This would be the end of Nexus, right? Like, this is literally it. Damn, Otunga. Is Otunga still under contract? Oh, was this? Oh, yeah, this is the computer era, too? So, yeah, this CM Punk song, I think, was Randy Orton's for a moment. I know he's came out to the ring to it at least once, and then they switched to the other version. But I think Orton had this first. This wouldn't be a horrible match either. You could do it right now. Ring the bell. As much as I love Punk, Sean's 10 times better than Punk in the ring. You had that Punk shirt? Yeah, I wasn't buying wrestling shirts at that time. Was he saying that yet on TV prior to this?
So what you're saying is that none of these people are going to have to hear or see from you again? That sounds like a win-win. It is a win-win because clearly it's what they want, it's what I want. Win. 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 But you know, win not only is a hotel on the strip, win is what you didn't do when you left the WWE. You lost.
Punk's still being a heel here. I love it.
Hey everybody, I'm going to beat The Undertaker. You didn't beat The Undertaker. You went out a loser, unlike me, who's going to go out a winner. And not only am I going out a winner, I'm going to leave your WWE champion. Have you run all this by John Cena? Because isn't he the WWE champion? I'm sure he's going to have a problem with this. John Cena is
The spinner belt. We're going to have to see that tonight, aren't we?
the person I beat
And it's going to spin.
on Raw 2 weeks ago. So I have no doubt, Money in the Bank pay-per-view in Chicago, Illinois, I'm leaving with John Cena's WWE Championship. And
Okay.
one of the reasons I'm leaving is all of you. It really is sad that you would rather put your hands together and get on your feet.
Broken Angel, we are watching on Peacock.
Shawn Michaels
Just follow the timer or match up with that. If you're watching on other than Peacock, it's not going to be exact, but it'll probably be close.
to stay. At the end of the day, just so you know, the reason they cheer me
You know what's funny?
is because they know
Sean might be the one guy CM Punk could beat in a fight. I think CM Punk would win. But Sean's probably the only guy. Deshaun, thanks, dude. Appreciate the $5. Punk, would have his old song for a couple more weeks before he changed it to Cult of Personality after. But yeah, he changed it to Cult of Personality when he came back after the Money in the Bank, and then he was gone for a couple weeks and returned and did the stare down with Cena, right? That's when that one debuted.
There's nobody back there right now that can hold a candle to me, just like when you were here, there was nobody in the back that can hold a candle to you. So you saying that you're better than me now, I don't know, that kind of sounds like is that a challenge?
Yeah, it's a challenge, yeah. Let's have that match. Shawn Michaels, CM Punk.
Because I know you used to be this brash, rebellious superstar. You know, me and you.
Yeah, 97 Shawn, and this piece CM Punk on the mic would be fun shit.
You and I are not alike. Certainly we've got similarities. We don't smoke, we don't drink, we don't do drugs, but you know something?
I was about to say anymore.
Fair enough. You know what? At the end of the day, a guy like you, you've got your style, and I've got mine.
Oh, he super kicked. Oh, man, I thought he was going to kick Punk. Poor Otunga. They always shit on Otunga. Is he okay? Wake him up.
You just made the biggest mistake of your life.
Oh, I forgot about the computer. Did anybody ever give the computer their finish?
Anonymous Raw General Manager.
Oh, Michael Cole. Oh, his face. Do we have to look at it?
You leaving WWE is your decision. But seeing that you only have 3 Monday Night Raws left,
They're still whatting 10 years later.
since you're already in the ring, you're going to have the first match tonight on Raw Roulette. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's spin the wheel.
Okay, spin it. Oh, Booker's going to spin it.
Just want to show you some of the matches we have in store tonight for Raw.
Lumberjack, handicap, pillow fight. Oh, my God.
Special guest referees match.
I'm trying to read the matches.
My favorite, the pillow fight match. Now, CM Punk,
CM Punk.
to find out exactly what kind of match you're going to compete in tonight.
I honestly don't know how they work these backstage. I mean, do they legit see? Because it's not a wide shot of it, so it's a close up, which means they probably spin it until it lands on what they want, or do they really play on the fly?
I know you're wondering what that means. CM Punk, this means you have a mystery opponent. This also means you, CM Punk, have won an all-expense-paid trip to hell. Because you're going to face this man.
Oh, I'm scared of Kane. Kane and Punk. Mike Maxson, still can't believe Punk got in a UFC ring. Thanks for the super chat there, man. Oh, now... Oh, I wish Kurt was alive. Damn. I kind of never knew that Shawn super kicked Perfect's kid. And here comes Kane. Why are the SmackDown guys there?
CM Punk does not know what to make of what has transpired already here tonight. I'm going to tell you something. Punk has no one to blame but himself. You know what? I love this Raw Roulette. Our first
Yeah, I just didn't know how they do the wheel. Do they, if they intentionally want a specific match, if they just keep wheeling it until it hits it and then they just edit it, or if they legit go with wherever it lands. I don't know. I don't know how they do it. It's a mystery. How do they do it? It's so magical. Ugh. Punk and Orton, I believe, had a hell of a match at WrestleMania 27. I remember liking it. Things would get a lot better for Punk. I love the way he won the title, even though I think they had made some missteps during the summer of Punk. I think, him winning at Madison Square Garden with, like, Howard Finkel, announcing him, like, that's pretty badass. That's the way I'd want to do it. And you held that shit for a year, man. Yeah, I don't know if there was ever a time when the brand split did mean anything, He's got some fans chanting him. Yeah, Punk did a great job of getting my interest with the pipe bomb. I mean, I always liked Punk, but, he became, like, the reason I was tuning in, after all of that. Yeah, we're going to have this year's draft coming up at the end of the summer, end of August, I believe. I don't think drafts mean anything either. I'm kind of anti-draft. Oh, Punk caught. Yeah, he's saying he's out of there. Look at little Nate. I'm so sorry what would happen to you 10 years later when they tried to take your robe away. Assholes, man. What was Kane up to these days? I guess he was on SmackDown, obviously, but he still looks in really good shape here. Yeah, Punk was never a United States champion. I guess he wasn't. He might have been. I don't think he was. Wow, so that match is still 3 weeks away, huh? I wonder if it would have been better if it would have been on the go home. It's probably better to do it a couple weeks before. Punk's like, I'm out of here. Oh, he's just going to leave like that? All right. Man, he would be so over just in 2 hours from this once he started talking. You won, Kane. You should be happy. It's a victory. God, Michael Cole, you're so annoying. All right. Big Show versus Alberto Del Shitface. Raw Roulette match next. I forgot about. What did they say the last one? Capital. I forgot what the hell they said the last name of the last pay-per-view was. Cena and R-Truth. That's awesome. So that's who Cena faced at the end. I love Raw Roulette. I don't love it. Glad R-Truth is in the main event. That makes me happy. That's right. He would. It would be the next year he'd come back with a mask. I remember that. The end of Maskless Kane. Then it was just on and off whenever he felt like it. Oh, yeah, Sin Cara. Does he have the trampoline? I forgot about him. Is this the first one or the second one? Yeah, I remember when they pushed R-Truth. I liked it. I liked they gave him a chance. And he botched it one time, didn't he? Sin Cara, what a disaster. What a disaster. Just for men. Evan Bourne. We just watched him wrestle last night on another watch along for Dynamite. Yeah, this is pretty early, so this is 2011. So yeah, probably the first Sin Cara. I think the other one had a tattoo anyway, so. Hell, is this before or after Evan Bourne took the Shooting Star RKO? Yeah, this is going to be some super flippy shit right here. Sin Cara and Evan Bourne. Oh, the lights are on like that? I forgot. Oh. Oh, yeah. Well, what if it lands on Pillow Fight? Oh, there's Eve Torres. Oh, yeah, I remember you now. Yeah, spin it. Oh, blindfold will be crazy. Booker. No count out. It's such a random stipulation. What if it would have been a body slam match? It would have been over in the first 5 seconds. Booker T, you are crazy. Thank you, Cocker Spaniel, for 5 more. Foley Edge versus Dreamer. Funk Forgotten Great Match. I wanted to land on body slam too. That's right. There was Sin Cara versus Sin Cara as well. And this match is no count out. I forgot they did the lights with him. I've never liked that for anybody they've tried it with. Kane, they did it with him when he first started. They did it with The Fiend. And Sin Cara and probably somebody else. I mean, I'm assuming they put Sin Cara over in this match, right? He's kind of new. Jesus. No count out. You can just stand there. Oh. Bourne's a little lighter weight now. I guess he might have dropped. He's a little leaner, but man, he's still extremely good. Power Ranger. Damn. Sin Cara's going for another. Wow. Not bad. Yeah, I don't like the light. It always makes me feel, or see differently when it's over. It's annoying. Yeah, I know who Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk are. I didn't know if you were referring to a specific match. I didn't know what you were talking about. You just said Foley, Edge versus Dreamer, Funk, Forgotten, great match. Which match? Doesn't mean I don't know who they are. Trust me, I'm older than you, and I've seen more than you. Yo, Alex, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome back. Oh, same move. What is that? I always forget what that combination is called. There's a name for it. Oh, that match? Yeah, I think everybody gives that match credit. Yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was a handicap match. It said Foley, Edge versus Dreamer. ... Funk. Dreamer and Funk. Yeah, the tag match. They all got bloody and tables and all that shit. Yeah, that was an awesome match. But they've all done gnarlier shit than that. Standing moonsaults blow my mind. Regular moonsaults blow my mind. The first time I saw a regular shooting star press, I shit my pants. Now dudes do standing shooting stars. Looks like they got yellow ropes. Missed. Oh, and he landed on his feet. Jeez. Wow. He looked like he knocked him out. Damn. Know your rank. Yeah, he did land nasty. Botchamania. He's like, shit, I hope I didn't hurt you. I got enough fucking heat. Yeah, I feel like he might have just a little bit effed it up. I don't know what he was going for. It almost looked like a cutter. Right on his feet. They'll show a replay, hopefully. Yeah, this right here looked like it was kind of some sort of a cutter armbar, but well, he looks fine. But it looked like the way he landed, I was like, man, he's limp. Oh, Kofi. A young Kofi. He's past the Jamaican accent, right? That's not a thing, right? He's way past that. Yeah, this is 2011. Oh, Vicky. Shouldn't you be preparing for your match on Wednesday? Look how young Vicky looks. Vicky, you are an asshole. Player's choice. Can you just pick a regular match?
I'm going to pick the match that I personally voted for last week. What are you talking about? I'm talking about Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston one-on-one. I like that. With Vicky Guerrero banned from ringside.
Banned. You're banned, Cougar. Vicky, you got Karen hair. Damn, Kofi was almost 30, so late 20s for him. Yeah, he wrapped up the Jamaican accent maybe like 08 or 09, right? So. Center either. Yep, pre-New Day Kofi. When do we get New Day? 13? And Lawler, he'd be maybe like a year out from his heart attack, right? Oh, yeah, so who wins this? I forgot. Maybe Swagger? No, not Swagger. Oh, maybe Swagger. Or no, Del Rio wins it. That's right. Del Rio, because he cashes in. 14, New Day. Yeah, it's Del Rio because he cashes in on, I think on CM Punk, right? I think. Oh yeah, this is a 2-hour Raw, right? I kind of forgot about that. Ah, Vicky. You're banned, didn't you hear? Don't you know the rules, Vicky? Look at, is that Nunzio? What? Is this his song? I barely even remember this. He's perfection, is that what it says? That's terrible. It kind of sounds like his other theme, too. Yeah. Nash texted himself at SummerSlam, and he came in all hair dyed and shit. A couple funny promos between Nash and Punk during that time. I remember that. I forgot about that theme. Totally. Still better than the cheerleader, I guess. Yeah, Dolph was still figuring it out. I always thought Dolph Ziggler was one of the dumbest fucking wrestling names I ever heard. It was such a letdown for me because he was just so universally known as a good worker, and apparently it's got some sort of personal meaning to him. I think his grandfather's name was Dolph or something, but the name just sounded way too WWE cartoony for me. I'm like, Dolph Ziggler, like Dirk Diggler is, I just thought it was dumb. I'm like, can't you just take anything seriously ever, WWE? But he made it work for him. Despite the dumb name, he was all right. Look, it's Ryan Nemeth. Exactly. He looks a lot like his brother here. Dolph and Kofi don't look very different now than they did then. Both in super good shape. Kofi's fine. Just go to commercial. They'll be fine. See? They did. Yeah, Mike, I agree with you. Vicky was up there with Stephanie for the most annoying. Looking at the results of the show, Chris Miner, thanks for the 5. 3 are in AEW. 3 are in the Hall of Fame. 2 are current champs, Truth and Mysterio. 4 don't wrestle, and 1 is a felon. That's awesome. And look at, what's his face? Referee. Cone, right? Oh, Truth never got it back from Akira Tozawa? No, Ratnik. Kofi is not Jamaican anymore. He decided to not be Jamaican a couple years before this. Which I don't know why. Jamaica's awesome. Oh, graphic Crawford. I'm not a fan of Vicky Guerrero. I'm sorry to say that. It's okay. You don't have to apologize. It's all right. You're allowed to not be a fan of the most annoying person in the world. No, been to the Caribbean a few times, not Jamaica, though. Oh, yeah, Triple H buried it, I remember. Mike, I put the cats in the closet, my big walk-in closet. They have food, their litter box in there. They'll be fine. That way they wouldn't mess with me. Yeah, AJ Daniels, I agree. I was thinking that before we even started watching, is that I think at the time I was really disinterested and underwhelmed by the product. But when you think about where we are now, they still got a pretty decent house in there. The upper deck is not tarped off. There's people there. They're cheering for shit. And at the time, everybody thought Cena's ruining the business. You'd kill to have this shit back. Wow, that was pretty awesome. He got him. I can win without the Vicky at ringside. Huh. Good win for Kofi. No, I don't. Dolph's handshake gimmick, I don't remember. I'd like to see Brett do something, come back. I don't know if he'll be on a live show again or not. Maybe. It just depends. If they do one of those old school Raws or a Legend show, they'll parade him out there. Or if they're in his neck of the woods, maybe he'll do it then. Otherwise, I'm sure he'll be doing appearances for the network and shit like that for a while. John Cena versus R-Truth. I wonder what the roulette stip is going to be. So suspenseful. Look at how good Maurice looks. Like, sometimes I look at Maurice and I want to be like, The Miz? For real? Are you sure? Booker, you are just all kinds of crazy. Oh, Del Rio, get out of here. Yes, Mike Witt, not only did I have WWF ice cream bars, I bought them off of an ice cream truck that came through with the bells in the neighborhood, like the kids and all the shit. I experienced it. Walked up there to the truck with bare feet and gave them nickels and quarters to buy my ice cream and ate it and got the shit all over my face. Full-on experience. Oh, God. Don't touch Maurice. He wants her to spin the wheel. I hate Alberto Del Rio. Hey, where did it land, dummies? This makes me want to throw up. Oh. Oh, now he's mad? Oh, steel cage? Steel cage. As opposed to a wooden cage. She did. Why are you so mad, Alberto? You're the one that wanted her to do it, you dumb shit. You can't be a little bitch about it now. This is why you're a piece of shit. Song and dance match. I want to see what that's about. Yeah, those ice cream bars were the shit back in the day, man. I never got like I remember whoever. I think I got like a Hillbilly Jim or a Honky Tonk Man bar or something. It wasn't the bar that I wanted, but what's the difference? You're eating it, but they were delicious. With a big yellow glove. Oh, poor Mark Henry. When did little Guido become a referee? Oh, capital punishment. I was trying to think capital carnage. Walking by a restaurant called Monsoon. That's awesome. All right, steel cage match. Here we go. I never had the new version of the ice cream bars, but the old ones were on a stick from the 80s. And I think the ones they did with Punk, now maybe they were still on a stick. But it feels like they did some ice cream bars. I never tried the modern WWE ice cream bars, but the 80s ones were really good. An ambulance. Alberto had cool theme music. I liked it. Ricardo Rodriguez. I forgot about him. Yeah, they're more like ice cream sandwiches, the new ones. Yeah, they don't come on a stick. I should try them. If I see them, I'll get them just for fun. Man, even the hard cam side is filled with fans. Oh, yeah, big year for him, huh? Won the Rumble and Money in the Bank and won the title. But it would still be Punk's year. All right, here comes Paul White. What is he doing? Why is he so excited? Chill. He is extremely happy. He's like, this is the best. I'm going to kill this guy. Anybody watching Peacock on their computer, how weird is that volume button? It's way up here. What's up, Domination Warrior? Thanks for the $2. What is up, Greg? What year do you prefer from 2011 until now? I thought 14 was okay. Daniel Bryan and all that stuff. I thought 12 was okay. 15 wasn't bad. And that's all I can really remember. 17 maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure if I have a favorite. I'll take y'all's suggestion on that. Because there's some... I have some ideas. I'm wondering what you guys thought or think. I didn't think 2015 was that bad. Had a pretty good WrestleMania that year. Pretty decent SummerSlam, I think. I'm trying to think which one of those years might be the most memorable for me. I think 2014 stands out. I thought WrestleMania 30 was a success, and Daniel Bryan and some, situation there when circumstances were different. Undertaker, lost his streak. John Cena got destroyed by Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. So I might go 14 for me. And then this here in 2011, this is the year Del Rio won it. That was the year they did like 40, right? Oh, here comes Henry. So he's feuding with Big Show, right, at this time? Yeah, I don't remember why I don't like 2016. I just didn't. I don't think WrestleMania was very good in Dallas that year. Don't even look at me. Mark, it's hard to trust you as a mean person. You're so nice. Motherfucker cried about 16 times during the Andre the Giant Treasures episode. Oof. Ouch. Yeah, Henry, I'm glad he got a run with the title and stuff. I love that getting their wig split is in his song lyrics. That's just hysterical to me. I don't want to get my wig split. I don't have a wig, though. Got an Armstrong reffing. Is he still around? And Kyoto's out there. Yeah, there's a good chunk, not a ton. There's a good amount of AEW people here, though, but that's what you can expect. If you go back and look at WWE or WCW, subtract 10 years from that, and look at where those roster members were, they were in the other company. That's the way it is. It's no different than it's ever been. Because a lot of people say, oh, AEW is just nothing but WWE rejects. I'm like, well, they're a brand new company. If you look at WWE and WCW at the time, they both had each other's talent constantly. Look at 96 WWE. 96 WWE was 93 WCW. Johnny B. Bad, Dustin, Vader, Cactus, Steve Austin, Pillman. All those guys were in WWE. You can trace it back as old as the business is. It's not new. It's just something fans use as a reason to criticize when they don't have any fucking clue about wrestling history. Oh, Mark Henry's busting the door off. You got to earn more. Kane did it and only won. Mark's like, fuck it. Oh, and that thing just bent. There you go, Mark. Kane didn't struggle that much at Bad Blood. I don't know why you did, Mark. Oh, he's bringing. I'll just bring the door with me. Okay. If somebody's gonna take a choke slam on that door, Del Rio's trying to get over there. Is Mark gonna let him go? And he wins. Happy Pipe Bomb Day, Mr. E. Last night, CM Punk retweeted Steve Austin a tweet that Austin had made the night of the pipe bomb, saying, "Damn, son, CM Punk just melted my 52-inch TV." Very cool. And he gave it a retweet. So 10 years, man. I had only been living here in California for like 8-9 months. I was still fresh at my job, brand new, still trying to find my way around the West Coast. Oh. How many things has Big Show destroyed? He's been through rings, been through cages, automobiles, lights, LED screens. He tore back when he first got to WWE, he tore down the Titantron. They like ripped it and tore it apart. When WWE had purchased a new set, they said, we might as well fuck this one up. So they tore it all up. Watch yourself, Mark. Don't twist a knee. Good to see you, K-Dog's Kennel. Welcome back. Glad you're here. Oh, okay. Mark's very mad at Big Show. I thought you guys were friends. If anybody did that to me, I would not help get them a job 10 years later. I'd say, no, fuck you, man. Remember when you put me through that cage? Think I forget? Oh, wow, they're still using the old boxy metal monitors, too. They hadn't transitioned into just the tablets. Different times. Probably got a VCR back there somewhere. Yeah, they've broken the cage a bunch of times. Big Show was involved in that, too. He did one of those, too. That was his debut. He threw Austin right through the cage. It broke. Austin wins. Peak Mark, yep. But this is still before. This is got to be, 2 years before his retirement. Which I never believed. I'm glad that Mark gets a lot of credit for that promo because it was good, but he didn't have me fooled for one fucking second. Never for one moment was I watching that thinking that he was for real. I'm like, nope. If he's for real, Cena's not out there. The fact that Cena's out there, you just knew it. But fans still like to claim, I think just out of kindness to Mark, that they were really swerved by it. But really, were you? Like, we saw that coming, didn't we? I did. Like, if he was really going to retire, I'd be like, get Cena the fuck out of there. The fact that he's even in there makes no sense. So, oh, is he crying? You crying, boy? Joe Dirt and Kid Rock. You crying? You crying, boy? Oh, look at that weird guy behind him. Behind Cole and Lawler. He is very creepy. Ugh, who's this? Oh, it's Kelly. Okay, I can live with it. I just assumed I would hate whoever had theme music like that. Oh, she's the champ? She's got the strap? No shit. Oh, God. Divas matches. God. Yeah, I guess if I was a kid, I might have bought it. But as people who've watched so many swerves and, you just know, sometimes I just wasn't buying it. But Mark is good. Mark can be emotional. It doesn't take much for him to cry. So he was convincing, with his speech and everything. But the Bellas, damn, they were there back in 2011. When did they come in? This was back when the Bellas were, let's just say, more the same size. Oh, that was Bree she was in there with. I was thinking it was Nikki. Oh, oh my God, she beat. One of the Bellas was the champion in 2011? Can't believe they're in the Hall of Fame. That belt sucks. God, the whole division sucked back then. Get Charlotte out there just to beat the shit out of all these girls. Bring Asuka with her. They're awful. They do look exactly alike then. There. Jeez, I can't even tell which one's Brie. Oh, yeah, I can tell. But barely. Kelly. Ugh. This is so fucking horrible. Chris Minor, Kelly would destroy Bianca Ripley and Raquel. Okay. I'd pay to see that. That'd be an interesting ass beating. Oh, yeah, here we're going to spin the wheel for these girls. Let's see. Look how Kelly's standing. Tell me it's not going to be a pillow fight. Oh, submission. All right. You look like a Christmas ornament. Yeah, Raymond, I did. What year was it on that video? Was it 2013? I mean, China was... There's no excusing that at all. But China was the butt of a lot of jokes, and it wasn't a good look for either one of them. They weren't alone in it. Joan Rivers said something pretty graphic about China. And I think as wrestling fans, people who are old enough to remember China's career, you tell me, what do you remember about what the fans said about China back in the day? What did perhaps you yourself say about China back in the day? So I'm not excusing it, especially in 2013, when something like that can come back and make you not look good, especially in light of China's passing and, you know, in the biography or the documentary that they did and everything. It's not good at all. But it is what it is. I thought the Bellas have always been idiots, and that was just more proof of it. So, ugh, Jesus. Well, there's a nice 45-second match. Kelly with a sweet Boston Crab. Who did she even face? Brie? Oh, no, she faced Nikki. Okay, she beat Nikki. Brie's in there. I really am struggling to tell them apart here. It would get, easier in later years. Now here comes Eve to save the day. Keep on calling her Eva. It's Eve. Give me Eva Torres over Eva Marie any day of the week. Yeah, I was never, just this whole, like, class and this era, like, I never thought Candice Michelle was any good, or Eve Torres. Well, Eve Torres a little bit. She looks like somebody always felt like somebody who could fight. But the rest of them, man. Oh, Brie Bella and Kelly have a Money in the Bank match. God, the Bellas are terrible. Ugh. Yeah, Eve was okay. Eve is, we'll give Eve a break. The rest of them, though. And Beth Phoenix, of course. Retribution. Yeah, they had their moments. Brie isn't good. They both have had their moments. Nikki, right at the end, kind of impressed me. I thought she did well in her match with Ronda, and she had a couple matches here or there. I'm like, yeah, by this point, she kind of knows what she's doing a little bit. So she's not horrible, but she still came from a Divas era. She came as a model, not as a wrestler, and she was just a model. That's it. So that's what Trish was too. And look what happened. Trish blossomed into a great wrestler. So it can happen, but I was never a believer in them. And Nikki, like I said, she got a little bit good in the end, and she was smoking hot, which didn't hurt either, but it was hard to ever really, truly take her seriously. The Bellagio. I've been there. I've been in front of that water fountain before. What is this? Tough enough. What happened to him? I don't even know who these guys are. This isn't Tough Enough that year. They got belts. Andy Levine. Yeah, what they cut him at some point, didn't they? Oh, and he got slapped by Vince and stunned by Austin. Help me out, guys. We Are Pro Wrestling. Barry, where did he go? I never watched the Tough Enoughs. I actually watched the first one. I thought it was okay. That was where Josh Matthews, Nowinski, Maven, right? I think that was all that class. I maybe watched a little bit of the second one, but not at all. But I thought the first season was okay, but I never watched it again. Completely lost interest. Damn, unemployment line, never to be heard from again. That's sad. I wonder what happened. He had the best training. Look, he's in there with Steamboat talking to Dusty. Yeah, I wasn't watching. I didn't watch Morrison and Miz's Tough Enough seasons. I don't know much of what they did. Tornado. Oh, Ray. Dominic's probably, 12 here? Might be 13. What's up, Lisa? You need a beer, 2 or 3. How are you? I know. I actually had no beer cold in the fridge, and I worked this morning. So I am just drinking some Kirkland lemonade vitamin water. I'm being a good boy tonight. I'll drink beer tomorrow when I can actually throw some in there. DDP. Is he here plugging his yoga? He is. Oh, no, he's plugging the Nitro. Is that the same one? It's like he gave it to me through the screen. Oh my God, Drew McIntyre. Holy shit. Look at Drew.
I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you guys are taking up my TV time. As the future of this company, I'm recommending...
You don't sound as tough as you do now.
You believe in this building on stretchers. You can trust me on that.
Oh, no. Oh! Damn. Sean just killed Drew. Yeah, we'll do that, actually. I'll make a note of that. Remind me on Twitter, too. Watch along of Invasion. It's 20-year anniversary coming up next month. Let's do that. Yeah, it's a good-looking DVD. Let's see. What are the matches on it? Let's read. Oh, I don't have a little card in mine. I've got all 3 discs. I must have lost the match. If it had a little insert, I don't have it in here, in mine. Oh, well, that happens. Alex Riley and Rey Mysterio against The Miz and Jack Swagger. Yeah, I don't know who that Drew guy was, but he ain't got a chance.
Whether it's verbal, physical, or cyberbullying. There's no place for bullying. Not in school, playground.
Alicia Fox, I will do whatever you say. You don't want me to bully? I won't bully. I was never much of a bullier. King of the Ring 93 would be fun. We might do that one day, too. We are probably only a few minutes away from the pipe bomb. We are about 30 minutes away, maybe a little less, probably 25 minutes away from CM Punk to start dropping pipes, or bombing pipes, or piping bombs. Don't know how you say it. Jake Hager can pretend he's beating up MJF. I know. CM Punk would have something to say about that. Be a star shit later on. Y'all do some nitros. Maybe we could do like some back-to-back nitros. Maybe we could watch like, it would be long. Maybe we could do like I should do like a marathon one week. Do like a month of nitros. 4 or 5 hours and just watch them all in a row. Might be fun. That music he had. Oh, I forgot he did push-ups. Only 3? Come on, man. Yeah, Miz looks very much the same. Alex Riley. He still makes a little bit of noise every now and then, I think, doesn't he? I think he's a bit on the bitter side. Yeah, I think him and John Cena had some problems, I think. And now he's all Mr. I want to fight everybody guy. Last I saw, I forgot what he was even making noise about. He was making a stink about something. All right, here comes Booyaka. I mean, even at this time, I thought Ray was a little old. He's still in there, man. Help me out with Ray's timeline. He'd be gone after this, right? I mean, at some point, I don't recall exactly when he left. But he'd be gone for a few years and then come back, right? He might have even came back 2 different times in the last 10 years. I don't recall. I mean, I know he went and wrestled elsewhere. I know he was in the ring when Perro Aguayo Jr. passed away. I don't remember what year that was. But Ray is super marketable, man. Lisa, thoughts on Apollo? I like the new Apollo. I feel like it's something for him to do. The accent took a bit to get used to, but he's holding with it, and he's sticking to it, and now it seems like he's made it to the other side of the program with Big E, and he's going to have that title for a little bit. So I don't hate it. I actually liked it at first. Maybe have lightened my stance on it a little bit in terms of how much I liked it, but I don't it's one of the best things they've done. It's the best thing they've done with Apollo yet. I felt like he was just totally floundering. So at least WWE is doing something with him, giving him a direction and a championship and some muscle. That usually means they care a little bit about you. I think the gear change is good. I think he looks a lot better with the long trunks. So I'm cool with it so far. I like Apollo. I want him to succeed. Oh, so this is Tornado, I think, right? Okay, so everybody's just in there all willy-nilly. Yeah, the direction with Apollo was a little weird, but it beats him just coming out there and just trying to just get over on his own and shit. Just WWE's got to just give a shit, and they do. It seems like they do about him. He's got just a ridiculously, stupidly good look, and he's just tailor-made for championships. So I'm glad that he's got one right now. Who did it better, Kofi or Apollo? I'd probably go Apollo. A little better. Swagger. Big swagger bum. He looks like he's wrestling a kid. I mean, Swagger's well over 6 feet. Was he 270, 260? Maybe 250. Mike Maxon, thanks again for another super chat. What would be a good CM Punk return match you want to see? Return match. Him just coming out would be all I need in terms of who he works with. I don't know. He doesn't even have any. I mean, who would make the most sense? The champion. You know, somebody like Punk. It's not like he has any unresolved issues. He's been largely out of the game for the past 7 years. So it's not like he can, like, pick up where he left off or anything like that. I think a guy like Punk coming back is going to be so earth-shattering that he'll have to go straight for the title. And depending on whether or not the champ is a heel or babyface, I guess that'll tell you what Punk is going to be. But in terms of a Punk return, you would probably want a not a well-liked champion. That's what I would hope for. Like, I would, you know, if CM Punk was in the women's division, I'd want Charlotte as the champion when he came in. Because if he came in and attacked her, oh my God, the pop. So if you can get a champion that the fans are kind of rejecting or feel doesn't deserve it or whatever, you know. It doesn't take much to get the fans mad. Most of it is misplaced anger anyway. But just get them mad at some champion and then have Punk come back and GTS that motherfucker. That's what I'd do. But Punk is going to make such a splash. You know, Punk and Cesaro would be great, but you can't just do that match. Punk has got to come in and go right at the top immediately. He will have so much... It'll make so much noise that you can't just have him in a mid-card match. The Cesaro and Kevin Owens matches, those can come later. But upon his initial return, if that were to ever happen, it's title match or nothing. He's demanding a $20 million price tag. You're going to have to put him at the top. He ain't wrestling the third match at SmackDown with a commercial break. You know what I mean? Oh, poor Ray. Kicked out. Mike Chioda still a decade away from being let go by WWE. Money in the Bank is July 18th, I believe. I only know that because 16th is when fans return on SmackDown. And when I add 2 days to 16, I get 18, which is how I came up with that date. I used math. Ray with another kick out. Ray, your partner sucks, man. Punk back in the Royal Rumble. I don't know. Wherever Punk comes back, it needs to be a complete surprise. Like, do not even tease it. Don't even make the fans think for a second. Make him be the last thing on anybody's mind. And boom, he comes back. And just get that huge response, whether it's an AEW ring or WWE ring. Get that response. I want to hear that and see it for myself. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, I think creatively, more great things could be done in AEW than WWE. You can get a little gnarlier on the mic with Punk and stuff, and, you know, or I'm not even sure if a pipe bomb could really work now in WWE, if they would even allow it to get that far. We need a Pipe Bomb, the sequel, Pipe Bomb Part 2. I don't think WWE would put Punk against Lesnar. Because it's not believable that Punk could beat him. And the fans wouldn't buy it. And Brock ain't jobbing to him. Well, Swagger stopped us from getting the 619. I wonder if Alex Riley is related to Kyle Riley. Yeah, Punk returns in the Rumble. He should win it. But I would not put him in the ring with Lesnar. That's a match WWE will not do. They already did it, and it was great. But to do it now, after both guys have a UFC background, you know, if I'm Brock, I'm saying, I'll wrestle him, but you out of your fucking mind if you think I'm putting him over. And I think even WWE would understand that demand and probably agree with it. Oh, Ray just ate a boot from Hager. From Swager. From Jack Swager. Jesus, chill, Jake. He loves wearing gold, doesn't he? Isn't he wearing some gold in AEW right now, too? Or am I imagining that? Yeah, Brock and Punk at 13 was great at SummerSlam. Oh, no. Riley, you want to get over there? Now we're going to get the 619. They would not rob us of that. Damn, I think the babyfaces are going to win here. Big splash by Ray, and that's ball game. Look at the fans. They look like they give a shit. Cheering and everything. Wow. It's going to be interesting to see, if we can get some reactions like that on Raw in the near future. Because we do get, despite all the bullshit, we do get some good in-ring work on Raw. It's usually a weekly thing. There's always a good match sprinkled in there somewhere. We'll do some SummerSlam watch-alongs this year. I'll do 13 if you guys want. Oh, yeah, McMillan River Adventures. Thanks for that, Michael Cole. What's he, just hunting shit? I always thought that when Sean retired, he was going to just live like in Texas forever, and that was going to be his life. And to see that he packed his family up and moved to Orlando is pretty crazy. Oh, man, don't kill that thing, Sean. I'm not going to watch this show. Why don't you put an arrow in a buffalo or something? What the fuck? Is it, what do they say? Is it really a sport if one team doesn't know the game's going on? Spaz is here during the watch-along. What's up? Happy Pipe Bomb Sunday to you. Thanks for the 10 Canadian. Cheap plug, blah, blah, blah. Cheers to Greg in the chat. How bad is main roster? Is going to ruin my girl Shotzi Blackheart on the main roster. You're probably right. Also, rumors Maverick and Moon, of all people, might on the chop block. Moon is an Ember Moon? Ugh. Go subscribe to Spaz Phoenix's YouTube channel right now. All right, Truth is going to spin his wheel for later for Cena. What do we got? Now, so this is before Truth and Miz would hook up with their alliance, right? Tables match. Oh, yeah, that's why there's a table in the ring. It's all starting to make sense now. He's going to get got. I don't want to get got. Oh, he's talking to little Jimmy. God, Jimmy. How old is Jimmy now? Little Jimmy's probably old enough to drink. He's probably college senior Jimmy. Booker just walked away from you. Because then Miz and Truth would get all like violent, right? And they would tear shit up, and then they'd have the tag match at Survivor Series with Rock. All that stuff, right? I'll take the rapist for 500. It's not the rapist, it's therapist. All right, Raw. Oh, this is it. Main event time. Right on. Cena and Truth. Oh, he comes out to no music, right? I remember that. That's the way it used to be done back in the day. Nobody had fucking music. It does look like a straitjacket. Don't touch my big Jimmy. That's hysterical. Man, I wish Raw was still 2 hours. All right, here comes Cena. Dun, 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 dun. Fans are booing. Some are booing. And there he is. Very red, very spinner belty. Wristbands, jorts. Looks absolutely ridiculous. I have never not had Cena's back. Oh, don't worry about it, Jose. It's all good. Your sister's is managing your money for you. Sometimes that's smart. Five more from Spaz coming in. 205 is going away. Yeah, it feels like it is because with all those releases, they basically released the whole damn roster over there. I can't help but think making any decision, any division-specific show is an invitation for people to say, that's not what I watch WWE for. Yeah, they try. I mean, 205 Live has been going around for a couple years now, or a few years, and it never did anything. It's pointless. I don't watch it. I don't watch it at all. It's been years since I've watched a 205 Live show. He got by little Jimmy. 'Cause that's what you don't want. All right, yeah, so back in the day, we've seen enough signs, and let's go Cena. Cena sucks. I mean, at least that was my biggest Cena argument back in the day. I'm like, well, what would you rather have? A whole bunch of fans screaming at the top of their lungs? Because some fans hate this dude with a passion and others love him. And when you combine those two passions, that's a whole lot of fucking passion that one guy brings out of an audience. To not understand that is to be willfully blind. You know, it's better than, just coming out there like maybe Diesel did or some of these other champions during their run where it was just crickets. At least with Cena, every person in every seat is reacting. How many champions can really say that? Not many. Just a select few, the Brunos, the Hogans, the Austins, the Rocks, guys like that. Hell, even Brett and Shawn, probably can't make that claim in terms of overall crowd reaction. And that's from a Bret Hart fan. That's coming from the biggest Bret Hart fan. Bret got good ovations, but not louder than any of those guys. So Cena always deserved credit for that. I'm like, if you really wanted to show WWE that you didn't care about Cena, you'd shut your fat face. You'd go get a drink. You'd go to the bathroom. You'd mess around on your phone. You wouldn't stand up. You wouldn't cheer. You wouldn't applaud. You wouldn't say anything. But instead, you're on your feet, standing on your chair, screaming how bad you hate him. It's pretty obvious to me why John Cena got the opportunities that he did because of the reaction that he draws. And boy, trying to explain that to a fan back in these times, it's like talking to a brick fucking wall. Didn't want to hear it. When it's really not, it's nothing debatable. It's an easily verifiable fact. It's nothing to debate here. But boy, you go around in circles arguing with these idiots back in the day. I'm like, they just don't get it. They don't understand. They just don't understand. So just let them have their hate because they're too immature to understand what the fuck is happening. I'm glad they gave R-Truth this little run here. Wow. Why do we got the watermark here? Is that the overrun? Yeah, I mean, there's still 10 minutes left in the show, so they probably did an overrun here. It's probably the top of the hour. That was when the show aired. And now we're going to get like a 10-minute overrun because they used to go long, right? Didn't they used to go like 10, 15 minutes over? Like on a weekly basis? All right, table's coming out. Yeah, he should have turned heel in 2013. I agree. That would have been awesome. That would have been so awesome. But WWE mismanagement of booking or failure to turn him heel or not, to not respect him is just stupid, you know? He was the guy they needed after the Benoit stuff. It's what they needed to do. Can't have any more drug addict champions. You need somebody who carries himself well, keeps their nose clean, kids can look up to. They needed to do that. And that's another thing that fans just could not grasp because they were young and they've only been watching wrestling for 5 fucking minutes and they didn't understand, you know? I'm like, it's time to have a champion you can fucking count on. Truth out. John Cena, quickly on the attack. R-Truth and Cena would make a great team. They could have done like an album together. Who's older, Little Jimmy or Mae Young's hand? I think Mae Young's hand is older than Little Jimmy. But Mae Young's hand was born on TV, but Mae Young's hand is now old enough to drink. I think they might be the same age, but Mae Young's hand have got Little Jimmy by a little bit. Because I don't know how old Little Jimmy is when R-Truth is talking to him here. He's 10 years older than however old he was here. And Punk's here. Look at there. Oh, he moves the table. That's brilliant. And he's wearing the Stone Cold shirt. Uh-oh. Oh, they're brawling. I didn't know there was a pre-promo brawl. Oh, Punk's in there. Oh, there it is. That's the finish. And Truth gets the win. Good win, R-Truth. I said earlier that I had no recollection of the show, so I didn't know that R-Truth got a win over Cena in the main event. Win his lunch. Yeah, he stays there for a while, I think, while Punk cuts this promo. He's about to... All right, here we go. It's pipe bomb time 10 years ago. Actually, looking at the time here, it's probably really close to 10 years to the actual hour and minute here. I'm only probably an hour off from when this was all going down.
John Cena, while you lay there, hopefully as uncomfortable as you possibly can be, I want you to listen to me.
Look at him selling.
WWE Championship. I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
It's time to get some shit off his chest, y'all. Here it is. If you're just tuning in, we're watching the pipe bomb right now.
I hate you, John. I don't even dislike you. I do like you. I like you a hell of a lot more than I like most people in the back. I hate this idea that you're the best. Because you're not. I'm the best.
I'm the best.
I'm the best in the world. There's one thing you're better at than I am, and that's kissing
That's when you're like, oh, okay.
You're as good as kissing Vince's ass as Hulk Hogan was.
I'm dropping some names here.
I don't know if you're as good as Dwayne, though. He's a pretty good ass kisser. Always was and still is. Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
I love that.
Wrestler in the world.
Wrestler.
I've been the best ever since day one when I walked into this company, and I've been vilified and hated since that day because Paul Heyman saw something in me that nobody else.
Yeah, that's right. Hogan was in TNA.
That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy. You know who else was a Paul Heyman guy? Brock Lesnar. And he split, just like I'm split, but the biggest difference
Brock would be back.
between me and Brock is I'm going to leave with the WWE Championship.
He said wrestler.
I've grabbed so many of Vincent K. McMahon's imaginary brass rings that it's finally dawned on me that they're just that. They're completely imaginary.
Yeah, Heyman wasn't around at this time.
Is me. And the fact that day in and day out, for almost 6 years, I have proved to everybody in the world that I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even in commentary. Nobody can touch me.
He was a very good announcer.
And yet, no matter how many times I prove it, I'm not on your lovely little collector cups. I'm not on the cover of the program. I'm barely promoted. I don't get to be in movies. I'm certainly not on any crappy show on the USA Network. I'm not on the poster WrestleMania. I'm not in the signature that's produced at the start of the show.
Yeah, he's not. Bullshit.
I'm not on Conan O'Brien. I'm not on Jimmy Fallon. But the fact of the matter is I should be. And trust me, this isn't sour grapes. But the fact that Dwayne is in the main event of WrestleMania next year and I'm not makes me sick.
It's got a good point.
Oh, hey, let me get something straight. Those of you who are cheering me right now, you are just the biggest part of me leaving as anything else.
See, he's still a heel here.
Sipping out of those collector cups right now. You're the ones that buy those programs that my face isn't on the cover of, and then at 5 in the morning at the airport, you try to shove it in my face so you can get an autograph and try to sell it on eBay because you're too lazy to go get a real job.
Oh, fans are assholes too. Give an autograph, and they just go barge right up to him and stuff. Ugh. If I was a wrestler, I'd hate the fans too. I wouldn't be able to take it.
Maybe I'll go defend it in New Japan
I'd lock myself in my room and never come out.
to Ring of Honor.
You're dropping Ring of Honor names too.
Hey, Colt Cabana, how you doing?
We're good.
The reason I'm leaving is you people because after I'm gone, you're still going to pour money into this company. I'm just a spoke on the wheel. The wheel's going to keep turning, and I understand that. But Vince McMahon's going to make money to spite himself. He's a millionaire who should be a billionaire. You know why he's not a billionaire? Because he surrounds himself with glad-handing, nonsensical, douchebag yes men.
Douchebag yes men.
He's going to tell them everything he wants to
Still true.
then maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon's dead. But the fact is, it's going to get taken over by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law and his stupid family.
Jesus. Shane's not stupid.
Tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon, all right? You're going to do this whole bully camp?
Oh, I want to hear the personal story. That sucks. They cut him off. That was pretty crazy. And that's the way the show went off the air, with Punk getting his microphone cut off. It's like, man, they're lucky he never did get out that Vince McMahon story, because he would have told it. I'm sure it just had something to do with him bullying somebody or whatever. So, yeah, there you go. There was the pipe bomb all these years later. It was still holds up in terms of truth, in terms of what he said and everything. It's still kind of valid today in terms of just, the product being shitty or the WWE being hypocritical, and especially lately with all the releases that we've seen and Vince McMahon just getting older and still ever more, just as set in his ways now as he has ever been, which is really hindering the product in a lot of ways. And around him, he brought back in Bruce Pritchard, and everybody around him probably just kisses his ass and doesn't challenge him on anything. And, that shows today. I mean, if CM Punk thought all of these things were a problem in 2011, they're even a greater and bigger problem and more grander problem now. And we've seen how badly WWE has deteriorated and declined in terms of rating and interest and just overall creativity in general. They really have, as each year goes by, become more and more of the ice capades, and we're just going to watch the show than we are to watch specific matches or wrestlers or storylines. And that's bullshit. And that's why it sucks. And so, I feel like somebody could come out today and cut another version of the pipe bomb saying much of the same things, and it would still be extremely valid and true. So, probably that's why this interview, or this promo, I should say, holds up and is revered as one of the best ever, because it's really the first time to where it had people wondering, is this a shoot? What's going on? Is this for real? Did he just go rogue here or whatever? But, in the back of your mind, you always kind of knew that it was a work. I mean, they would have cut his mic way earlier if it wasn't a work. But when you tie it in with the fact that he's actually leaving, it made it really interesting. I don't think my buddy Daniel is here, but I remember at the time talking to him because he was working as a referee, and I forgot what he said, but he told me that he was working with someone. He was in the car with him with close relation to Punk that's been talking to him, and this is during the contract negotiations. I'm like, what's going on with Punk? Like, he's saying on TV that he's going to leave. Is that legit? And he's like, no, through my source, Punk has been saying if he doesn't get what he wants, he will walk. He has no trouble walking. So they convinced him, I guess, last minute to be a part of this program, cut this big promo, and then he would be put in the signature. He would get his ice cream bars. He would get his big contract and a couple of things that he had asked for. And he wound up sticking around. But it's one of the very few times where you've had like legitimate real life being brought into a promo and being brought into a match as well, even though, it's more work. You think back to the screw job, Brett was leaving, but he had to do a match first. CM Punk is leaving, but he has to do a match first. Luckily, Punk isn't the WWE champion here. Cena is, so it's kind of like a reversal. So they don't have to worry about getting the belt off of him or anything. But apparently, up until this promo, he was going to leave, and then they gave him the contract and they gave him everything he wanted, and he stayed, and, the rest is history. He would pick up the title for real at Survivor Series and run with it for over a year. But it all began here, and I don't think he or they knew how over it was going to get him, because he still tried. He had the shirt on, but he tried to remain very Steve Austin-like, saying things in his promo that the fans are going to pop for, but making sure the fans understood. I ain't saying this for you. You're the biggest hypocrites out there, and you're a big part of why I'm leaving, just like Austin used to do. Austin would say shit, fans would cheer, and he'd go, knock it off. Think I give a damn about you? No. So he was trying to do that here, but then, when he re-signed and he was so over, and, they changed up the music and he won the title in hometown in Chicago, instant babyface. He was a babyface here as soon as he called Triple H a doofus and said that the company will be better when Vince McMahon dies. Instant babyface. Fans ate that shit up, and it was awesome. I loved when he came back. Like I said, I wish they would have waited a couple of more weeks, because he would do the match at Money in the Bank, leave, and then like 2 weeks later on Raw, they did a tournament. It was Cena and Ray, I think, in the finals. Cena won, got his belt back, and then CM Punk came out at the end to Cult of Personality, and they had a little stare down with the title. And we were off to SummerSlam, I guess. So, they did a couple of I think if they would have sold it better, like Punk, the way he left, he ran through the crowd at Money in the Bank. We did a watch along of this, or a review of it last year. It's probably on my channel. Just search Money in the Bank. And he ran through the crowd. He leaves. He jumps into like a running car. He goes home, sticks the title belt in a fridge, and takes a picture of it. but then he's back 2 weeks later. Imagine if he just stayed gone a month. Imagine if you let him do an indie appearance and he just turned up somewhere. Like, man, that would be so fucking great. They could have taken it a little bit further and made this really work. They had a golden opportunity here to really work us to the point where we haven't been worked since, or the casual fans, I should say, maybe not us, but, where the casual fan or somebody tuning in saying, oh, wait a minute, just like they did when Hall and Nash jumped ship. There's a lot of people that really thought they came from WWE and believed it. So, it's probably their best opportunity since those days to get something like that done. And I feel like they could have done it just a little bit better. But overall, the pipe bomb was awesome. The match at Money in the Bank was the best match in modern history in terms of overall excitement and just how hot the crowd was. That crowd, you could feel that crowd. They were not fucking around. They were jacked, just from the rafters, cut it with a knife, all those descriptions. It was one of the best, overall just pay-per-view vibes probably since another July pay-per-view, Canadian Stampede, back in 1997. So, would have done some stuff differently, but now that it's been 10 years and CM Punk is still chanted, he's still talked about, and to this day, now that he's been out of the company now for over 7 years, out of wrestling in general for over 7 years, going on 8, he is still every bit, I think, as much of a needle mover as he ever would be. If he were to turn up in AEW and WWE, it would break the shit out of Twitter. Break it in half. People would be freaking out. I've said all along, he's the only guy out there that could really be potentially a ratings mover for either company, because I feel like both companies, if they picked up an extra star or dropped 1 star, it's not going to affect them really in the long run, especially WWE. But CM Punk is a whole different story. You bring him back in and he is going to dominate the Twitter headlines. People who haven't laid their eyes on wrestling in over 20 years are going to see his name coming across their Twitters. It's going to be everywhere. You're not going to be able to miss it. It's going to be a huge deal. And, if you can get AEW back in Chicago at the Rosemount or something and have him come out there, holy shit, or WWE, for that matter is what I really meant to say. It could be huge, and it can still happen. It can still happen if he wants, and if either company is really willing to pay that. But we've talked for the last 7 years on the podcast, on the channel here, about a CM Punk return. And one thing I have always repeated is that you have to think about him coming back. He's either, for this to work, he's going to want to have to come back to do it too, and not just do it for the money, because you would imagine his price tag is pretty high. And if he's demanding, let's say, $20 million, you run the risk of disrupting your morale if you do that, just like WWE would have that problem when The Rock would come in. That was the crux of CM Punk's promo here. What would this CM Punk say if CM Punk came back now after being gone for 7 years and immediately gets the main event in a WrestleMania? Wouldn't this CM Punk have a problem with that? Because that's what he said in his promo here about The Rock, who at the time was gone about the same amount of time that CM Punk was, about 8 years. And he came back and it made CM Punk sick. So is CM Punk going to do much like John Cena? John Cena was a little bit hypocritical with his comments on The Rock too, and the path that The Rock took. CM Punk in many ways is kind of in the same boat here. Because if he were to come back now and demand a big money payday and demand a top spot on a pay-per-view card in a main event title match, isn't he doing what The Rock did just a few years later that pissed him off so much? And unlike Punk, Rock's a movie star. Unlike Punk, Rock is out there doing shit. Punk went out there and did shit, but he got the shit kicked out of him. So, it could be interesting if he came back. You could have somebody cut that very promo on him. I think it's you could recreate the pipe bomb in AEW. Have somebody come down there, sit down on the mat like that, or sit down on the stage, grab the microphone. I hate this idea, Kenny Omega, that you're the best. I'm the best. And the fact that CM Punk is main eventing All Out makes me sick. Something like that. Maybe this company will be better when Tony Khan dies, but he's just going to turn it over to his idiotic young bucks and his doofus Cody. You could really do the whole pipe bomb again in AEW if you want to do. The pieces are there. Who would cut that pipe bomb, though? That's the big question. I have no idea. But anyway, good stuff, man. Good stuff from Punk. Well, yeah, CM Punk attending an indie event, but Cena coming out and attacking him, that would signal that would just raise up every possible red work flag you could. The trick is to try to get people to really not know if it's a work or not. And if Cena jumped Punk at an indie event, nobody would believe that's legit. But Punk attending the indie event, just showing up there, maybe not even having a match, just getting in there, getting in the ring, cutting a promo, maybe brawling with one of their guys or something, that would be all you need to do. It would get the world talking. That would be overload. If Cena comes out, it's like, okay, that's too much. It's obviously a work if he comes out. But if he doesn't, and CM Punk's kind of going out on his own, maybe WWE can even file like a fake lawsuit in court or something and get the dirt sheets to pick it up. WWE sues CM Punk for breach of contract, showing up somewhere and just work us. Just try to make us think that it's real. Most of us are going to know. The trained eye is going to know will work when they see it. It's usually pretty easy to pick out. But, when you can make us question it, when you can suspend your disbelief, that's, I feel like when it works the best. MJF and Kingston, yeah, those are two good. They should have came to my mind immediately. Kingston and MJF would be great. I think I'd prefer MJF in that situation because he's got Kingston's not really in the youngest part of his career, and he does not look like somebody who's going to be future AEW World Champion, where MJF does. MJF, I think, would be the perfect person to cut that promo. Did you guys see all the heat Eddie Kingston was getting for that off-air promo he cut on AEW? My God. I love competition. I love that it's fun. I don't understand this notion that AEW isn't allowed, for some reason, to play by all the same rules that every other company in history has played by. It's so funny the way fans try to mask their bias for AEW under bullshit logic. I just think they should pick their spots better. They come off a little desperate the way they're always clamoring around WWE. I'm like, they're not really doing that. To me, TNA was way more guilty of this. They hung on every word WWE did and said. They reacted to everything they did. They delivered fucking cookies to SmackDown. They brought in Hogan and Bischoff and all this nonsense and really tried to make themselves they even took away the six-sided ring and tried to make themselves like a minor league WWE, all the while calling them out and trying to get their attention. And, they were virtually nothing in terms of WWE's ratings or any sort of real legitimate threat. AEW, I feel like, does try to do things differently, acknowledging the fact that they are competition. Unlike AEW, who took them a while to get on cable TV, unlike TNA, I should say, who took them a while, did the pay-per-views first. AEW was right on TNT, WCW's former home, right off the bat. They're a North American promotion with money behind them for wrestlers to go and work and be taken care of. This is what we need. It's what wrestling needs. And you have fans that just hate them so bad and want them to not succeed that when they see something from an AEW guy taking a shot at WWE, they get so angry and butthurt about it that they try to explain it like it shouldn't happen or they try to just mask their bias under logic, when there is no logic, because every company's done this. You must be very young if you completely ignore the last 5 decades of wrestling history. Back in the NWA and WWE days, there were subtle shots being taken at each other. And then there was a lot of them in WCW and WWE. Look at ECW. They were a small-time promotion. If anybody's trying to get anybody's attention, it was Paul Heyman trying to get the attention of the other two companies, because ECW shit on both companies constantly. And you know what? They were praised for it. Stone Cold Steve Austin was born in Paul Heyman's basement, doing those promos on WCW and Dusty Rhodes, Monday Night Quill, with Eric Bischoff and Bongo. He dressed up like Hulk Hogan. That was all, the foundation of what Stone Cold Steve Austin became and what that Attitude Era became. And what Eddie Kingston did was off air, didn't come at the expense of anyone, didn't take away the spotlight from anybody else, and it got a lot of people talking. So where would that better spot be? It seems like he accomplished exactly what he set out to do. And, taking shots back and forth is fun. And when WWE sends them back, I like it. I hope that they spoof AEW or they make a little pot shot. Triple H called them a pissant company and said we could buy it anytime we want and things like that. But I think the outrage over that was a little bit ridiculous, since it seemed to, not everybody is like this, but it seemed to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or observe yourself and you decide if you've seen something different. But to me, based on the outrage that I saw on social media, it seemed to come from the people who claim and complain about SJWs and snowflakes and virtue signaling and all this stuff that's so horrible. It just ruins their day and controls and consumes their life and lives in their head completely free of rent. What's that phrase everybody likes to say? Those are the people that seem to me the most triggered over this. These are the people that seem to be the most recreationally outraged about this, simply getting outraged for the sake of getting outraged. What is there to get outraged about? Some guy stood up for his roster. WWE can do the same thing on a house show or do something on NXT. I wouldn't give two shits. I'd be happy that the two companies are acknowledging each other because I lived through the era in WWE when they did not acknowledge the competition and it was boring as hell. Here you have WCW making all sorts of noise, and Vince McMahon and WWE acts like they're the only game in town. It's just them and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and Aldo Montoya, and that's it, and nobody else exists. Competition is fun. Wrestling fans are not fun. Wrestling fans, for some reason, have got a giant stick up their ass, and they just don't know how to have a good time. And like I said, it all comes down to bias, because anybody that doesn't have any issues with either company either way or hasn't taken a side in this stupid war or this funny war. Stupid war is probably better, what I call it. Anybody who hasn't taken a side really isn't going to have an issue with this Eddie Kingston stuff. What it is the people who hate AEW who are pretending that it's a bad look when really it just translates into they don't like when they do it. That's all it is. It's transparent as glass. Every person, because I made a couple of tweets about it today, and every person that disagreed with me all said the same thing. Their bias is showing. They just don't like it that AEW does it. It bothers them. So they try to invent reasons in their head why, it shouldn't have been done, and they need to pick his bat better, and blah, blah, blah. What are you, 4? Have you not been watching wrestling for the past, 5 decades to see what companies do back and forth? Why is AEW not allowed to play by the same rules? Because people say, well, in WCW and WWE it was different, or in ECW it was different, or felt more underground, or whatever. I'm like, okay, but why is AEW not allowed to play by the same rules that every promotion has ever played by? WCW, ECW, WWE, TNA, tons of local promotions. Every AWA would even, take shots at WWE and try to fight back against them. Vern took the whole Vince McMahon thing very personally. So why, when all of these other wrestling companies are allowed to acknowledge each other, take shots at each other, whatever, why for some reason is AEW not allowed to do this? Because that's the way it seemed on social media. People were actually trying to make a case, as if their fucking points made any sense, that AEW, for some reason, isn't allowed to play by these rules. The WWE, WCW, ECW, TNA, and everybody else is always played by. AEW can't for some reason. No reason why they can't, other than they're fucking biased. And they don't like them, and they don't like the fans, and they don't like any of that stuff. AEW's got annoying fans. Don't follow them. You can choose who you follow. I know AEW has got a cult crazy fan base. They don't bother me. They don't come attacking me because I ignore them. I don't follow them. I don't listen to them. I don't read what they say. I don't argue with them. I don't give a fuck. And more people should be that way. Stop caring so much about what Jimmy, your Twitter follower, says. You got better things to do. You got your own life to live. Don't worry about it. Let these companies have their fun. Let the rosters take the shots at each other. Don't take it so personally, because you know who takes shit like this personally? Snowflakes. The people you claim to hate. Look in the mirror, douchebag. Anyway, Mike Maxson, thank you for the $2. Good pick. Maybe made me remember how good WWE can be. They can when they want to. They really can. AEW needs to hire Greg Gagne. No way, man. No fucking way. Let's not do that. Let's not bring him in. He's horrible. But you know what I mean, though? It's just like AEW. They're just existing. And I don't think you've got somebody like Jim Cornette who's got an entire YouTube channel, based on spending 2 hours a week, 2 hours a day, and just shitting on AEW. You don't think that's a bad look? Why is that okay? But what Eddie Kingston did off air is not okay. Sounds like just a lot of butthurt, biased feelings to me is what it really comes down to. And the fans at the end of the day don't know what the fuck they want. They don't know what the fuck they stand for. They're only going to stand for whatever they're thinking that day and whatever pisses them off that day. They will be hypocritical. They will say the exact opposite thing one day that they said 3 weeks ago on Twitter. It all just has to balance out and measure up with what their vision of wrestling is and who they like better and the fans they do and don't like. It's all just based on bias. That's it. Everything is fueled by that, everything. So the just the outrage, the anger, the arguing, just the buzz that Eddie Kingston's comments got today was interesting, because when I watched the promo, I'm like, really? Is that really what we're that butthurt about? Seems like a big waste of time to me. You don't want the companies out there ignoring each other. And I understand the people that sometimes things can get out of hand. I've made that complaint about TNA before. I thought they took it a little bit too overboard. I thought they focused too much on what WWE did. I don't see AEW doing that. They take shots here and there, but they're not, they do things different. They do the win-loss records. They do a lot of things that are different in the company, and they're not just following and reacting to everything the WWE does. And I've said that they should continue that, because when they do start caring too much, that's when you do see problems. But I have not seen anything in WWE or in AEW that's even remotely suggested that their competition with WWE is affecting them in their storylines. Oh, they're worrying too much about them. They're doing nothing but signing WWE stars. That's bullshit. The company's 2 years old. Where do you think these wrestlers are going to come from? Many of them are going to come to WWE. And again, that's something that's always been done. Look at 70s, look at 80s WWE and NWA, and look at the same rosters in the 80s in NWA and WWE. Look at those two companies' rosters in the 90s. Lots of changes, lots of flip-flops. I've always mentioned 1996 WWE looks a lot like 1993 WCW. Johnny B. Bad, Steve Austin, Brian Pillman, Vader, Dustin Rhodes, Cactus Jack, all the guys in WCW were in WWE. This always happens. The talent flips and flops back and forth. So it's flimsy criticisms and flimsy excuses for all these AEW haters that have their AEW hate just hanging all out, but trying to pretend it doesn't exist and bury it under bullshit logic that also doesn't exist. I can see through you. I'm not fucking stupid, and you guys don't make any sense. So anyway, that's my little, if you have a problem with Eddie Kingston promo, you're an idiot rant. There you go. We'll close with that this evening. But I want to thank everybody that was here tonight. This was a really fun watch along to do. We're going to be back up here tomorrow to review Monday Night Raw immediately following the show, hopefully. We'll get some decent stuff, more stuff set up for Money in the Bank, maybe another qualifying match I think we might have. We'll see if there's any follow-up on Eva Marie. Maybe Orton and Riddle will do some fun stuff. Xavier Woods might be off TV for a while, and Kofi might have to go it alone against Bobby Lashley. We'll find out. But let's just keep our fingers crossed for a decent show tomorrow. And we're down to, 3 Raws left, I think, in the Thunderdome? Help me do the math. 3 or 4. We're getting there. Home stretch, y'all. It's almost time. So anyway, thank you for being with me on this great Sunday. Take care of yourselves. And